Seniors' top 8 collagen-boosting veggies to rebuild joints and nerves. Okay, stop right there. You might be thinking, wait a minute. Veggies for my joints, for my nerves. Isn't collagen only in fancy powders or those pricey supplements on TV? Well, that's what most people believe, and honestly, I get it. But what if I told you that your kitchen might hold more healing power than your medicine cabinet? And what if I told you that certain humble vegetables can actually help strengthen your knees, protect your hands from tingling, and even keep you moving confidently without those scary stumbles? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, today we're going to break down exactly why that is true, and I'm here to guide you through every single step. Now, before we jump into the juicy details, pun totally intended, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt that sudden zap in your fingers when holding a cup, or that heavy, tired feeling in your legs just after walking to the mailbox? If you nodded yes, you are definitely not alone. But here's the kicker. You don't have to accept this as just aging. You can actually fight back starting today right at your dinner table. Oh, and hey, before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with someone you care about, and of course, subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create even more life-changing content to keep you strong, independent, and thriving after 60. So grab a comfy seat, maybe a glass of water, or beet juice if you're feeling brave. And let's uncover the surprising power of these top 8 collagen-boosting veggies that can help you rebuild your joints and nerves from the inside out. Ready? Let's get started. What exactly is collagen, and why does it matter so much after 60? When I first talk about collagen, most patients think it's only for beauty and wrinkle creams. But collagen is so much more than that. It's the most abundant protein in our body, making up about 30% of our total protein. Think of it as the glue holding everything together: bones, muscles, joints, skin, even nerves. Without it, your body would literally start falling apart. After 25, we start losing about 1% of collagen each year, and after 60, this loss speeds up fast. By 65, you've likely lost 30–40%, and that's when you really start to feel it. Aching knees, weak hands, loose skin, and slower healing. I remember my patient, Mr. Robert, a marathon runner who came to me at 68 saying, "Doc, my knees sound like popcorn, and my hands burn all the time." His tests showed severe collagen depletion. He thought it was just aging, but I told him, aging is natural. Falling apart doesn't have to be. Collagen is critical for joints since cartilage is mostly made of it. When it breaks down, bones rub together, causing pain and arthritis. It supports muscles, so without it you lose strength and balance, making falls more likely. It keeps skin firm and supports fascia, that web under your skin that helps you move smoothly. Collagen also protects nerves. Without it, you get tingling and numbness. And it makes up a big part of bones, so losing it means higher fracture risk. These aren't just medical facts, they're daily struggles for millions of seniors. The good news is that collagen loss can be slowed and even partly reversed with the right foods and habits. You don't need expensive powders or injections. Nature already gave us what we need if we know where to look. As a 67-year-old doctor, I've felt it too. My knees and hands started giving me trouble, but I turned to diet and lifestyle first. I added more vegetables rich in vitamin C and other collagen-building nutrients, focused on sleep, and stayed active. Within months, I felt stronger and more stable. In the next parts, I'll show you 8 powerful vegetables that can help your body rebuild collagen naturally. We'll look at how to eat them, real stories from my patients, and simple tips to get started. Remember, getting older is normal, but giving up your strength and freedom is. Number 1, red bell peppers, the secret collagen supercharger in your fridge. When I ask patients about foods that boost collagen, they usually say bone broth or fish skin. Almost no one mentions red bell peppers, and that's a big missed opportunity. Red bell peppers are a quiet superhero in your fridge, bright, sweet, and crunchy. More importantly, they're loaded with vitamin C, which is essential for making collagen. Just half a cup gives you more than 150% of your daily vitamin C needs. Without enough vitamin C, your body can't properly build or maintain collagen, leading to weak joints, aching hands, and fragile skin. I had a patient, Mrs. Grace, who was 72 and loved knitting. Her hands were so weak her granddaughter joked they sounded like rusty hinges. She rarely ate fresh veggies, so I suggested she add red bell peppers every day. 3 months later, she could open jars again and started knitting sweaters for her great-grandkids. Besides vitamin C, red bell peppers have capsaicin, a strong antioxidant that protects collagen from damage. A 2020 study showed seniors with higher vitamin C had stronger grips, faster walking speed, and lower inflammation. Another patient, Tom, 69, hated vegetables but agreed to try diced peppers in his omelet. A few months later, he felt like he had new hands, and his shoulder pain even got better. As a 67-year-old doctor myself, I felt joint stiffness and weak hands too. Adding raw red bell peppers to my meals helped me open jars again without struggling. We often chase complicated fixes like injections and surgeries, but sometimes the simplest foods make the biggest difference. Ask yourself, do your hands feel weak when opening jars? Do you avoid certain tasks because your grip isn't what it used to be? If so, try adding red bell peppers today. Eat them raw to keep the vitamin C strong in salads with hummus or tossed in at the end of a stir-fry. In my experience, this small, colorful vegetable has changed lives quietly and powerfully. It may not be flashy, but it works, and that's what really matters. Number 2, spinach, the gentle giant that keeps your hands and legs alive. When you think of spinach, you probably picture Popeye flexing his arms, but for seniors, spinach is really about protecting your ability to move and stay independent. I had a patient, Mr. Lin, a 74-year-old Thai Chi teacher who moved better than most 40-year-olds. But one day he noticed tingling fingers and started dropping his sword. He had stopped eating greens, thinking they didn't matter anymore. Spinach turned everything around for him. It's full of vitamin A, which helps build collagen, lutein, and chlorophyll to fight inflammation, and magnesium to support muscles and nerves. Without enough magnesium, you get cramps, tingling, and that annoying pins and needles feeling at night. A 2018 study showed seniors with higher magnesium intake had stronger tissues and fewer nerve issues like carpal tunnel. Spinach also has nitrates that improve blood flow to hands and feet, helping nutrients reach the collagen-building cells. After adding spinach to his smoothies and dinners, Mr. Lin regained his grip and was back teaching in 2 months. Another patient, Mrs. Sarah, struggled with restless legs at night. Spinach helped calm her legs and she finally slept better. I felt this myself at 67 when my fingers stiffened and my toes were always cold. Eating spinach daily in salads or sautéed with olive oil helped me write longer and sleep through the night. Ask yourself, do your hands feel weak holding your toothbrush? Do your legs cramp at night? Are your knees stiffer in winter? Spinach might be the missing piece. Eat it raw in salads or smoothies to keep nutrients, or lightly sauté it for easy digestion. Pair it with vitamin C veggies like bell peppers to boost absorption. Spinach isn't just a side dish, it's a quiet protector that keeps your joints, muscles, and nerves strong. From my own life to my patients, it works. Try it and feel the difference. Number 3, okra, the underrated joint lubricator and nerve shield. Okra might be one of the most underrated veggies for seniors dealing with joint pain and nerve issues. Some people love its soft texture, others can't stand it, but either way, it's worth a second look. I remember Mr. David, a 66-year-old retired carpenter who hated the idea of eating okra. He said, "Doc, that slimy green thing? No way." But his hands kept locking up when using tools and his knees felt like they were grinding metal. Okra contains mucilage, a gel-like fiber that works like natural joint lubricant. As we lose collagen with age, cartilage dries out, causing pain and stiffness. Mucilage acts like a cushion, letting your joints move more smoothly. Okra also has vitamin K to keep calcium in bones, vitamin C for collagen support, and manganese to help build strong collagen fibers. A 2021 study showed okra extract reduced joint inflammation and even helped repair cartilage. David finally tried grilled okra with olive oil and salt. After 6 weeks, he could open jars again and move without that morning knee pain. Okra also has antioxidants like quercetin, which protect nerve sheaths. Many seniors feel tingling or burning not just from nerve damage but from weak collagen around nerves. Okra helps shield these areas. Mrs. Janet used to wake up with electric shocks in her feet. After adding okra to her meals a few times a week, the tingling eased, and she felt safe walking barefoot again. At 67, I get it, I felt stiff knees and those random nerve zaps. Adding okra to my meals helped me move easier and sleep without sudden shocks. Ask yourself, are your hands weak opening jars? Do your knees ache when standing up? Do your feet burn or tingle at night? If yes, maybe it's time to give okra a try. Grill or roast it to reduce slime, add to soups at the end to keep the soothing texture, and pair it with vitamin C foods to boost collagen. Okra isn't glamorous, but it works like a quiet hero. From my own table to my patients, I've seen it help seniors move with less pain and more confidence. It might be the simple change you didn't know you needed. Number 4, broccoli, the mighty green architect for your connective tissue. If you've ever pushed broccoli aside, it's time to think again. Broccoli isn't just a boring green vegetable. It's one of the best foods to help rebuild your joints and support your nerves as you age. I remember Mrs. Ellen, a 73-year-old librarian who came to me saying her knees felt like they were full of sand, and her fingers were too stiff to knit. She thought it was just old age, but when I looked at her diet, there was no broccoli at all. She hated the taste, but finally agreed to try. Broccoli is rich in sulforaphane, a compound that reduces inflammation, activates detox pathways, and supports fibroblasts, the cells that make collagen. A 2020 study showed sulforaphane helps protect these cells and speeds up cartilage repair. Broccoli also has vitamin C and K for collagen and bone health, calcium for bones and muscle function, and glucosinolates that protect tissues from damage. Ellen started steaming broccoli with lemon and olive oil a few times a week. 3 months later, she stood up without help and surprised her daughter with a new knitted blanket. Her knees felt smooth and her hands were flexible again. Broccoli also supports nerve health. Its antioxidants protect nerves from damage that causes tingling or numbness. Mr. Ron, 70, had foot numbness and balance problems. After adding broccoli regularly, he was able to hike again. I'm 67 and know what stiff joints feel like. Adding broccoli to my meals helped me move better and feel steadier on my feet. Ask yourself, do your knees feel rough when you get up? Do your fingers lock up when holding small things? Do you feel tingling or lose balance easily? If yes, broccoli might be what you need. Lightly steam it to keep nutrients. Add lemon or vinegar to boost absorption, and don't overcook it. Broccoli works quietly but powerfully to support your bones, joints, and nerves. From my patients to my own plate, it has helped so many seniors stay active and strong. It might be your turn to give it a real chance. Number 5, beets, the crimson warrior for blood flow and collagen revival. When I mention beets, some patients love them and others say they taste like dirt. But once they learn how beets improve blood flow and collagen, they usually give them a chance. I think of Mr. Peter, a 67-year-old retired engineer who came in complaining about heavy legs, numb toes, and stubborn knee pain. He could barely make it around the block without stopping. I told him this wasn't just a muscle problem, but a circulation and collagen issue. Beets are rich in nitrates, which turn into nitric oxide to open up blood vessels and boost oxygen delivery to muscles and joints. A 2019 study showed seniors drinking beet juice daily had 21% better blood flow, more endurance, and stronger legs. Better circulation means nutrients like vitamin C and zinc reach collagen-building cells faster. Without it, your body can't repair collagen properly. Beets also contain betalains, powerful pigments that protect collagen from damage, and folate, which supports cell repair and prevents harmful homocysteine buildup that can break down collagen. Peter started drinking beet juice every other day and adding roasted beets to his meals. After 2 months, his legs felt lighter, he walked farther without stopping, his numbness improved, and he even started doing light workouts again. Another patient, Mrs. Connie, had cold feet and slow healing after a fall. Beets helped her feel warmer and heal faster. At 67, I felt heavy legs after long days and slow healing from cuts. Adding beets to my meals and a few beet juices each week gave me better energy and faster recovery. Ask yourself, do your legs feel heavy? Do you get numb or cold toes? Do small cuts take longer to heal? If yes, beets might help. Roast or steam them to keep nutrients, drink fresh juice in moderation, and pair with citrus to boost effects. Beets aren't just a colorful side dish. They're a true warrior for your blood flow and collagen. From my table to my patients, they've made a big difference, and they might for you too. Number 6, seaweed, the ocean's gift to your collagen and nerve health. Most people don't think of seaweed when it comes to collagen and nerve health, but it's a true hidden gem for seniors. I think of Ms. Nora, a 69-year-old retired violinist who struggled with tingling fingers, stiff knees every morning, and leg weakness that stopped her beach walks. Her tests showed she was low in iodine, copper, manganese, and zinc, all important for collagen and nerve repair. Seaweed is packed with these minerals, which help activate enzymes that build and maintain collagen. It also has polysaccharides like fucodin and alginates that boost collagen cells and lower joint and nerve inflammation. A 2021 study found seniors using seaweed extract had faster tendon healing, less joint pain, and better skin elasticity in just 4 weeks. Seaweed is also high in iodine, which supports thyroid health. A sluggish thyroid can cause cold hands and feet, slow healing, and muscle cramps, issues many seniors face. After Nora started adding nari sheets and seaweed snacks 3 times a week, her knee stiffness almost disappeared, her fingers stopped tingling, and she felt steady enough to walk outside again. Seaweed also brings omega-3s, which protect nerve cells and help reduce burning or numbness. At 67, I felt cold feet and finger weakness too. Adding seaweed to my meals helped my balance and reduced morning stiffness. Ask yourself, do your fingers tingle when holding a cup? Are your knees stiff when you get up? Do your feet feel cold or weak? Seaweed might be worth a try. Use low-sodium nari in salads, sprinkle chopped seaweed on soups, or blend into smoothies if you don't enjoy the taste. Seaweed isn't just for sushi, it's a simple, powerful way to support your collagen and nerve health. It has helped many of my patients and me feel stronger and more stable, and it might help you too. Number 7, asparagus, the elegant healer for joints, skin, and nerves. Asparagus isn't just a fancy side dish, it's a powerful healer for seniors. I remember Mrs. Helen, 71, a former dancer who told me her knees felt broken and her skin sagged like old curtains. She was missing glutathione and B vitamins, both essential for collagen and tissue repair. Asparagus is rich in glutathione, the master antioxidant, which protects collagen, speeds up wound healing, and reduces joint damage. A 2020 study showed seniors with higher glutathione had stronger bones and healthier joints. Asparagus also has vitamin K, which keeps calcium in your bones instead of joints where it can cause stiffness and nerve pain. It's full of folate, important for collagen repair and stronger skin, and prebiotic fiber to boost gut health and help absorb key minerals like vitamin C and zinc. Mrs. Helen started roasting asparagus with olive oil and lemon 3 times a week. 2 months later, she felt strong enough to dance again and her skin looked firmer. Asparagus even helps with nerve pain. Mr. Carl had restless leg syndrome and fewer night cramps after adding it to his meals. At 67, I know knee stiffness and leg cramps well. Adding asparagus to dinner helped me move easier and sleep better. Ask yourself, do your knees feel stiff? Is your skin thinning? Do you get leg cramps or tingling at night? Asparagus might help. Lightly roast or steam it, add olive oil and lemon for taste and absorption, and don't overcook it. Asparagus isn't just pretty on a plate. It's a simple, powerful tool to keep your joints, skin, and nerves healthy. It's helped me and my patients feel younger and stronger, and it might help you too. Number 8, parsley, the tiny herb that rebuilds you from the inside out. Most people see parsley as just a plate decoration, but it might be the most powerful collagen booster hiding in your kitchen. I think of Mr. Jeff, a 75-year-old retired coach who stopped playing catch with his grandkids because his hands were weak and his knees creaked. When I asked about greens, he laughed and mentioned a parsley sprig from last Thanksgiving. Parsley is loaded with vitamin C, and K vitamin C is key for making and stabilizing collagen. And 1 handful of parsley has more vitamin C than an orange. A 2022 study showed seniors with higher vitamin C had stronger tendons, better joint mobility, and thicker skin. Vitamin K helps keep calcium in bones and out of joints, preventing stiffness and nerve pain. Parsley also has apignin, which reduces inflammation in the cells that make collagen, and chlorophyll to boost oxygen and healing. Mr. Jeff started adding parsley to eggs, soups, and smoothies. 3 months later, he was playing catch again without pain, his knees felt stronger, and his skin looked firmer. Parsley also supports detox by raising glutathione levels, protecting collagen from damage. Mrs. Felicia, 68, had shoulder pain and felt more mobile and stronger after using parsley daily. Ask yourself, do your hands feel too weak to grip? Are your joints stiff? Is your skin sagging or healing slower? Parsley might help. Use it fresh because cooking destroys vitamin C. Chop it into salads, soups, or smoothies and mix with citrus for better absorption. Parsley isn't just a garnish. It's a simple way to boost strength and collagen from the inside. It has helped me and many patients move better and feel stronger, and it might help you too. Putting it all together, how to create your daily collagen-boosting routine. You might feel inspired, but also a bit overwhelmed thinking about all these veggies and nutrients. Remember, rebuilding collagen is a marathon, not a sprint. You don't need every veggie daily, just stay consistent and keep adding small pieces, like laying bricks for a strong house. In the morning, try a smoothie with spinach, parsley, banana, and lemon juice for a vitamin C and magnesium boost. Add chia seeds for fiber and omega-3s if you like. For lunch, a salad with raw red bell peppers, beets, carrots, and seaweed flakes with olive oil and lemon works great. Dinner can be steamed broccoli and asparagus with roasted okra for joint support. Between meals, sprinkle parsley on eggs or soups and enjoy beet juice a few times a week. Mrs. Connie followed this plan, and after 6 weeks she felt stronger than her daughter, walking without a cane and brushing her hair without tingling. Mr. Ron stopped having leg cramps at night and started hiking again at 67. These aren't miracles, it's what happens when your body finally gets what it needs. Mistakes to avoid. Overcooking vegetables destroys nutrients, not drinking enough water weakens collagen, and relying only on pills won't work without real food. Ask yourself, which veggie will you start with? Do your hands struggle with jars? Do your legs ache on stairs? Even at 67, I felt better balance and stronger hands after adding these foods. Aging is natural, but weakness doesn't have to be. After 25 years as a doctor, I've learned that simple, natural steps work best. You don't need expensive powders or injections. Your grocery store has what you need. Your body is like an old house. With the right care, it stays strong for years. Start small, maybe invite a friend and make it fun. I'd love to hear from you. Which veggie will you try first? What pain or stiffness do you want to fix? Share with me. I read every story. Let's get stronger together, one veggie at a time. And there you have it, my friends. The top 8 collagen-boosting veggies that can help seniors rebuild joints and nerves, stay strong, and feel more alive than ever. Let's take a moment to really think about this. Aging is something we can't avoid, but losing our freedom and independence, that's a choice. By adding these simple, natural foods into your daily routine, you're giving your body the building blocks it needs to stay active, keep moving, and enjoy life to the fullest. Imagine waking up with stronger knees, no more fear of stumbling, hands steady enough to open jars, play with your grandkids, or even dance again. That's not a dream, that's the power of real food. Now I want to hear from you. Which veggie are you most excited to try first? Which symptom are you most ready to say goodbye to? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I absolutely love hearing your stories. And hey, if you found this video helpful, inspiring, or even just a little bit surprising, please smash that like button. It really helps us reach more amazing people just like you. Don't forget to share this video with your friends or family. You never know who might need this information right now. And of course, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly tips on staying strong and thriving after 60. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of this incredible community. Remember, you're stronger than you think, and it's never too late to rebuild from the inside out. Take care, stay active, and I'll see you in the next video.